Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Reassembly with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the modded series, in which we're going to go through the Steam Workshop and pick the most requested mods, and there are a load of them, and as such, we are now swapping mods. The last time, we were playing Reassembler, a mod which allowed us to use almost all of each faction's items as one single faction, the Reassembler, but now we are going to be playing Salt version 2, a mod aimed around adding a brand new faction to the game, which of course is the Salt faction, apparently exceedingly similar to the Borg, but far more salty, as the description explains. So let's get straight into the game, generate a new world, and see just what this mod is like. Now, the reason why I've swapped a little bit earlier than I wanted to is because yet again the Reassembler suffered from the exact same bug I had before, where the game crashed while trying to sync with Steam, and then me losing my current save file. Although I did have a backup, this does mean I simply can't regenerate the world using the Reassembler mod, no matter what I do, as this crash occurred when I tried to regenerate the world from the menu screen from here. As normally, when you go into a faction, I'm just quickly loading it up because I have had issues in the past. If I didn't load it up first, it didn't work. But if you right-click on a save file, which is now going to be this one, you have the option to regenerate the world and thus start spawning new things in. And because we had explored over half of the world already, I thought it was time to do that with the Reassembler mod, and it caused the desync crash, which is a shame, honestly, because people weren't reporting that issue, so it could just be on my game. I'm not sure what's going on there, doesn't matter too much. Let's start a brand new world using Salt. So of course I am going to be Salthrix, and we'll just use the standard scheme, as that seems very salty to me. So let's spawn in, skip through the tutorial, and see just what this faction is about. And so the Salt begins. So the very first thing I've noticed is this huge ship next to us. So this is the ship where we spawned from, so this is our base, I suppose, which I assume we're going to be spawning in once we get some damaged stations. And it looks amazing. Very slowly moving to the side. You can just about see the thrusters there working, and it's harvesting from everything, because our buildings apparently generate resource, and so do we, and my theory is it's going to be our core. Yep, it is indeed our core. I've just seen the solar panel symbol on it. We are generating one resource per second by just being alive, which is actually really good, because it means, well, just playing the game, we're going to level up and get credits and do all that good stuff really fast. Leveling up actually meant increasing our ship resource, but it does the same thing. So what weapons do we have? We have a Focus 2 and a Focus 1. Both of them are beam weapons. This one is significantly longer range, but less damage, as you'd imagine by the auto-firing. Okay, that seems pretty cool to us. So what can we buy? Actually, quite a few things then. We have Quartz, which is our capacity. Ooh, wow. Wow, that seems really powerful. Can hold 100 resource and generates 125 energy per second. We have a Cell, which generates resource at the cost of energy. Oh, that's awesome. That's a really cool concept, actually draining power to generate extra resource. I'm guessing that's the same again. And then we have the biggest cell here, which will generate 0.5 resource for minus 30 energy. Yep, that's quite expensive, but still very cool. Also, looking at their mass, they seem to be quite small as well, at least in comparison to the regular solar panels. Then we have a massive focus here, which is 3. Also a focus 4. Subfracture, life creating. Fires a seed, by the looks of things, which generates resource. Oh, that looks really weird, actually. We also have this focus here. A lot of really interesting stuff. We also have a subcore, which is also life-giving apparently, and generates resource and energy. Why would you get a cell over this? Because this is a command module, that's why. Now, you could probably add one of these to your ship, but I can't imagine you adding 2. I'm sure I've seen people do stuff like that in the past. Then we have the sails, which makes a lot of thrust, but I imagine we're also quite heavy then if that's the case. We have rocks, which supports vegetation and is a whopping 8,100 resource. Sorry, I mean mass. 0 resource. We could add one right now if we want, and then die instantly because we can't move. No thank you. Oh, but that's what our big ship in the background has. Okay, I think I'll get the gist of this. It's pretty cool. What I really want then is that. The subfracture. But we don't have enough energy for that because I saw we only have 100 energy. So we're going to need a quartz first. Yeah, okay, so we get the quartz, then we get the subfracture. So for now we'll just go out in the standard ship. See what it's like. So there's our manual firing beams. Not very long range, and we're also not very fast. Wow, we completely cover this area. If we get a factory, we can harvest all of these buildings. Definitely going for a factory then with this faction, without a doubt. I want to be one of those. They're bigger and cooler. What are you? Scout 4. What are they? Oh, they've all got really cool stuff I can't use yet. But for now, let's just try and get a station. Not the fastest at turning. Just not the fastest in general. Ooh, I hate these platforms. Hello, platforms. Ignore me. Just survive long enough to get the station. Don't really care about the enemy. Okay, fire back. We die. Now, I wonder if that's going to spawn in that massive ship we just saw at the start. I hope so, because that would be really cool. This thing here. Ooh, there's several. We already have several of them. We have 2 of them by the looks of it. This one's different. Is it? That's really cool looking. I love the art style of these things. Really, really like it. Now, can we afford both of these? What's the difference between these two? 15 versus 17 ship resource. Much smaller. Okay, so for its size, that's better. However, we have this one. So let's go with that, and let's go with the subfracture. I don't know why I'm so curious about this one. Ooh. We do need to upgrade our maximum size a bit first, so let's get one more station. I'm actually heading towards that station, because I want to see if it's spawned in that huge ship. If it has, it's going to be really good for us. Oh, still spawning in. Maybe I got here a little bit early. We're under attack, losing stuff. Ooh, we're not the most sturdy of ships. Although we did just ram that thing to death. And get some, credits for it. Yay! Oh, yep, by the looks of it, it is spawning in that massive battleship. It's not a station because it's moving. That's how that works, isn't it? What's it doing with its tractor beams? It's like I couldn't quite figure out what it was doing. Either way, we have some more resource, which means we can do this. So delete that, because it seems to go in that space. And delete these 2, because it seems to need the sides. Then we need the quartz somewhere. Now, this will probably explode, won't it? Good chance it would. So what we'll do, break this down into smaller pieces. Then because people's OCD will be going horribly wrong because it's the wrong way around. We'll be going wrong, I don't know, I mean, whoa, that's bigger than I thought it was. Oh dear. It could fit there. It could fit there. That looks cooler. Not the best position for it, makes it a little bit vulnerable, but there we are. Don't have enough ship resource. Oh, that's a good point, this actually costs a resource, doesn't it? Well, we can no longer go backwards, and our turning has been horribly crippled. And how do I use that? Right mouse button. Okay. Hoping this was worth all the effort. The like 5-10 seconds of effort I had to put in there. I'm a busy man. Fire! Oh wow, it actually makes a ship, a permanent ship that generates resource. Oh, that's really, really cool. That's really cool! I love that idea! A weapon that does that mean if I spawn it in near the station there, it can probably give its resource to the station, yes? Oh wow, it just landed. If it lands on a rock, it makes a building. We've got a building gun. We've got a building gun! You're kidding me! It's literally a building gun! I don't know why I'm so ridiculously happy about that, but that's awesome. That one, those are much smaller, but still. I wonder if that's a separate entity now to the station it's on. Oh yeah, it is, because I just saw it get drained of its resource. That is... This is a different ship to the one we started off with, yes? This is the Geode V2. Oh, that is just so cool. I have no good words for that. I have a terrible vocabulary. I can't even say the word, which helps. Did I mention that's really cool? Because that is really cool. Salt Platform 1. And the one that's spawning in is Salt Platform 2. Which one's us? This is us. Oh, I just thought though, if we use that rock... can we move that rock? I was going to say, we could fire it into ourselves and then build, like, buildings on ourselves, which would be really cool. Okay, for now, how did we get 1,000 credits? Are we getting credits for making these buildings? Actually, they're apparently in my group. How do I... which ones are mine? You can tell they're yours, but they have that little thing around them, don't they? That's mine. I can actually sell them! Which means I could just do this. Sell. I can't recruit them. Oh, that's even better, because that means I can just spam click it. I don't have to pay attention. Are those stations making stuff? With shields? Are they drones? You can have shielded drones in this faction, that's amazing. Yeah, I know I can't recruit, but can I sell the ones I made? No, so if they land, you can't sell them. Okay. Then why do I have 4 still under my control? I'm guessing 4 of them kind of flew out somewhere. Like that one there. Okay. That's still pretty cool. Very effort intensive just to sell those for such small amounts of credits, but even so. And look, all my other guys, oh, wow, this is going to go mental. Because now, this is a version which is now in the database. The massive ship there is spawning in the ones I've got, which are able to spawn in buildings, which means we've got loads of them spawning in buildings everywhere. Which is astonishingly awesome, actually. Drains up all of your energy, though, this weapon. So once it's down, then it starts generating resource, I assume. Yeah, I know, I can't sell it. It seems a bit weird. Oh, okay, so a lot of things can block it. So there we go, that's a spawned in a new building. We really need a factory. I want to be one of these! And I could as well, because everything's so low, ship resource. Well, there's our goal then, to look like this. By the end of everything, I want to look like the Geode. Just absolutely ridiculously huge like that. I'd look so cool. I'm kind of gushing a bit about this faction, but it's a really cool idea. That's such a... the plants can't do that, can they? The plant faction can make their own special little yellow plants, but they can't actually spawn in a weapon which spawns in, like, parts of their faction. Neither can the bee faction. I mean, you can obviously make your own custom buildings, but they spawn in when they spawn in. You don't just fire a gun and suddenly spawn a house. Which is what we have right now. Which, as I said earlier, is pretty darn awesome. Though it seems like if you fire it too fast, well, sorry, too slowly, so they all regenerate, they kind of get stuck together, which isn't quite as good. They are drones? I think they are drones. They're really cool drones as well. I want all the drones! What's the most expensive one? The scouting shard. Oh, no, they're the ones with the shield by the looks of it. The protecting shard. The swarming shard, that's what I want. Protective, fragile, independent, oh, independent! Does that mean once you fire the drones, they'll just go off by themselves, you have no control over them? I don't know if I like that or not. I'm gonna say I do. But for now, let's just massively increase our maximum ship resource. Massively. And then what we'll try and do is add a load more of those sub-defense, point defense rather, weapons, because they have a long range. Long-range lasers are best lasers. Oh, going to die. It's okay, because I spawned in. Oh, no, we didn't. Yeah, of course survived. Come on, weapons, load in. Oh, that's scary. Hello. Well, that hurt. But we spawned in yet another one of those huge station ships. Station ships, will I call them? I don't know what to call them. Call them something later. Ooh, that looks pretty. Why is that so much more expensive, though? Focus 2. Offensive, offensive. This one's auto-firing, that one's not, even though you can, of course, make it auto-firing. This costs less energy per second for 100 less damage and is slightly further range, with a much faster turret speed. which makes it which does make it better at being a point defense. Wow. Durable and heavy. Yep, for that much mass, I would hope so. Reservoir. More R capacity. Actually, we do need that. I'll grab that. Okay then, time to change up our shape. I kind of want to keep that, but I might not. Let's just see how we go. I ended up caving in, and so now we have a huge amount of stone on our ship. So this massive bit of rock, which is currently being invaded by a drone, is ridiculously heavy, and as you can imagine, it has somewhat slowed down our ship, which does look like a bizarre cross between a really low polygon fortress and a piece of aggressive Lego. So the Lego piece moves on. Fear me, any who try and stand on me. So let's try and get a station in our current state. On the upside, my core is now neatly nestled between a rock and a hard place, because this is that really heavy tungsten stuff, which has a load of health, despite the tiny size, but does cost ship resource. Slowly making our way to the next station. I don't think any amount of thrusters would really help out too much right now. We just need to survive. And that's kind of the goal. Over time, we'll add more lasers and possibly some more thrusters. Some more turning thrusters would be very much appreciated. And then we'll be fine. Until we get stuck on something, which thankfully our lasers are very good at dislodging. I can't imagine we're going to die very quickly, though. Even though I have put a few too many generators on this thing, honestly. For some reason I thought we'd be using up far more in the way of energy, but simply not. I think the next thing I'll purchase is one of the cells, so that I can start generating resource just by myself. Or maybe I'll buy a, what do you call it, a factory, so we can start harvesting buildings, make our own little building farm somewhere. Oh, we can be a parent to a load of buildings, just like these guys are parents. So they can have grandchildren. We can produce grandchildren for the mega ships. That seems like a decent thing, doesn't it? Where next? Well, there's another station all the way over there, but for now, do I want to sell or do I want to save up for that? I want all of this stuff. We could add more rocks and then add buildings, but there's no point in adding buildings until we have a factory to actually harvest them. So, what do we actually want? What do we want right now? How about a bigger sail? A bigger form of thruster. That seems like a good idea, right? It's over double for only 2 more ship resource. Yeah, that seems perfectly fine. Do we want some more of that as well? Yeah. So let's increase the amount of thrust we have significantly by adding these things. Whoa. They are a lot bigger. Now, we don't need these, it turned out, so... how do we want to do this? How do we want to do this? Another problem with these is the range isn't quite good enough to be in the center, but that's okay. We're still going to keep them there because this little section here is the place we want to keep as safe as possible. Is there any point in this tungsten being here? I don't know. That seems reasonable. How much do we have spare? No, not the quartz. The sail is 6. I would like to be able to turn a bit more. So let's put these here to our Lego. We are the Lego Lord. Lego Lord. There we go. Save. I've just realised now this is an actual design. Some of the mega stations might end up spawning these things. We're kind of polluting the world with terrible designs. Slowly everything's loading in. Some more thrusters on the back here and here would be good as well. More situations where our turning would be better. Stopping still and trying to turn with those is good. As you can see, I mean, you can see how much power they're actually outputting by how thick or thin the fumes are. If I turn off thrust, yay! Since we're so heavy, surely we should do enough damage during ramming. Must get one more station before the episodes end. Yeah, next we're definitely getting the factory. That way we can perhaps produce a movable City. Yeah, that's my end goal, to produce a city. So loads of those spawners to spawn in buildings, then rocks so we can have the rocks actually support the buildings, and then moving around the universe like that. These lasers are far too weak. Yep, need an upgraded weapon as well. We are dying. Really slowly. Slowest battle ever. In fact, we're only just about stronger than the shield regeneration. Energy regeneration, I was going to say there for some reason. I don't know, my speech is poor at the moment at best. Shouldn't have rammed them. Ramming them was a terrible idea. I should not do that in the future. I will not do that in the future. Whoa, that's a lot of flies. Perfect for our laser, though. But yeah, definitely need to go from the focus to the... Where's the long-range one? This one here. Similar range, much more damage. Let's try again to get that station, slowly going through these things. One more station under our control, but sadly I have ran out of time for today's episode. I've had so much fun playing this faction, and can't wait to unlock all the other stuff which is available to us. The drones look really cool, and the concept of being essentially a living asteroid with a city on it is very, very awesome. So, until next time, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's episode, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Reassembly, the modded series, is a series you wish to see continued in the future. And of course, if you have any suggestions for mods to use in the future, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I will read every single one of them, as I always have and always will do. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.